Hey guys, it's me, and today I'm here with a new video, and this video is gonna stir up some memories that I really, really am dreading on remembering and having to bring up again. But this video was requested, so I'm gonna do it, and that is I am going to talk about my dreaded scene days. I talk about my dreaded scene phase a lot across my social media, particularly on Instagram, and I also talk about it here sometimes, but mainly on Instagram. But I'm also going to touch on my early endeavors with alternative styles and making my way up to identifying within the gothic subculture. So yeah, and to present day. So yeah, so let's go ahead and get on into this travesty because I already know this is gonna be full of a bunch of what the fuck was I thinking, and just utter shame that this was a thing. We're gonna go back a long time ago, back to when I first started becoming interested in alternative cultures, and that was back when I was 12. Yes, when I was 12. So 8 years ago. So I was introduced to alternative cultures through my sister. She went through an emo phase, and so I was exposed to alternative cultures that way. Even from a young age, I was really into rock music and nu metal, and so with that came future endeavors, venturing out into the world of music and everything, and discovering new stuff. And I remember when I was 12, I was 12, almost 13. I discovered a band Within Temptation, and it was really them who really got me really interested and invested into alternative cultures. And then I remember when I was 13, I pretty much made the plunge to black everything. Black shirts, black pants, black jackets, black shoes, black everything. And some would say that it was probably an emo phase that I went through. I really don't know what it was. I just call it my early endeavors with alternative cultures. So yeah. And back then I was still getting buzz cuts all the time. I'll try to pop up a picture of me back when I was 12, or at least I think I was 12. So just so you could see how I was then, and then I'm gonna try to pop up a picture of when I was 13. Some people would probably say it was an emo phase that I went through, and then others would say that it was a stereotypical metalhead phase that I went through. I really don't know what to label it as, but it was just early endeavors into alternative cultures. I was really into extreme metal back then, death metal and whatnot, and there were some other bands that I listened to back then that I still listen to this day, very well known symphonic metal bands and also industrial metal bands. And I still listen to a lot of the music that I listened to way back then, but a lot of the music that I listened to way back then it's just thrown out the window and never coming back. But yeah, so and then when I was 13, it was at the beginning of 2009, I believe, I started working on growing out my hair. And as my hair started to get longer, the curls are going crazy. And I'll try and see if I can find a picture of me from way back then and put it up here on the screen so you all can see just how ridiculous my hair was back then, because my hair is naturally curly, and that's why I have to keep it up with my side cuts, because if they get too long then they start to swirl out, and that shit ain't cute. And in the summer of 2009, my hair was long enough to actually straighten, because that's what I wanted to do. And I guess you could say this was the beginning of the emo phase that I went through. It wasn't depression and like self-harm, like physical, like noticeable self-harm. As I do have a video on my self-harm history, which I'll try to remember to link down below. I was like, I had like that generic like emo kid look to myself, as it was like I was wearing like band shirts and a lot of black, and I would straighten my hair and make it to where like my bangs would cover up my eyes and everything, and it yeah, it wasn't a good time for me. Now that I look back on it, because it's just like I was looking a hot mess. And then as my hair grew longer and my bangs started to get longer, I went through what I like to call my cousin it phase. Because what I would do was I would brush my bangs over my face, and it would cover up my eyes and a lot of my face. And so I called it my cousin it phase because of that. Literally, I looked like cousin it from the Addams Family, because like I had like that ginger brown hair, and it would just cover up my face. And so yeah, a lot of people like in my family would call me cousin it, and like it was even more suitable for me because I mean I am an Atom, so like it just fit perfectly. And that went on for, I want to say that went on for about 2 years. No, not 2 years. It went on for about a year when I went through with that cousin it phase. When I was 15, I started like experimenting with like parting my hair. At first, like I was mainly like parting my hair down the middle, and then I started parting my hair over to the side. Not this side, of course, this side, because this has always been like my main side that I would part my hair over to. I started like discovering like bands that are like very common within like scene kids and everything. Like I was like listening to like, and like this is like gonna make so many people cringe. It makes me cringe just thinking about it. But like I was listening to bands like Black Veil Brides, Asking Alexandria, Blood on the Dance Floor. I was fucking obsessed with them. And it's just, oh my god. And I even listened to like Vampires Everywhere and I Wrestled a Bear once. Now I'll still listen to I Wrestled a Bear once. I haven't listened to much of their newer stuff, but like I really like the music of theirs that I've listened to. I absolutely love. It was really weird because like that was like when like I started like slowly easing out of the emo phase and into the scene phase, but I never realized it. And so yeah, that was what was going on. And this is when things are going to start going way downhill for like my life. It's just like the embarrassment is coming in big time now. So yeah, but anyways, the summer of when I was 16, I dyed my hair black. That was when I first dyed my hair black. And when that happened, that was pretty much the beginning of the end. I was really into like bands that are well known within like scene kids and everything back then. I mean, yeah, like I said, there's still like the bands that I listen to now. Like I was also getting really into symphonic metal at the time too, and it was just like I have black hair. It's kind of sort of long, and it looked hella ratchet because I went through a period where I didn't straighten my hair for several months, and my hair just looked an absolute hot mess. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. The emo phase transitioned into the scene phase was when I decided that I wanted to dress up as Andy Six during like Spirit Week at my school. Yeah. I don't want to post pictures of it, but if there are pictures of it that I have access to, I'll put one up. It was a hot ass mess. And then shortly after that, I dressed up as Andy Six again, but in a neater fashion for Halloween, because I went to like a Halloween thing at my school for that Halloween, and I dressed up as Andy Six then, and it looked a lot nicer. It was a lot nicer. but it was still really, 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 really bad. God, ugh. It was so bad. This was also like the beginning of when I started to do the absolute most with my outfits. Actually, I was doing the absolute most with my outfits back when I was 14. But it was like at 16 when it was like the absolute most. I would wear rosary on top of rosary on top of random necklace on top of another random necklace on top of a spiked collar. And then I would have like so much, like so many bracelets on. I would have like those like rubber bracelets that like had like sex meanings behind them and everything that were like really popular in the early 2000s. I would like have like a shit ton of them like up and down my arm. And then on the other arm I would have like a shit ton of wristbands on. It was an absolute hot mess. And also I would have like a chain clipped onto my pants, which I still have the chain and I don't wear it very often, but yeah, I still have it because every so often I do want to wear it, so I wear it. And oh god, it was so bad. It was so bad. God, I fucking hate you, dude, making me go through these horrible memories of my youth. God. Add on top of that, like, I would even wear in, like, I remember I even went through, like, a short phase. It didn't last long, but I would wrap gauze around my hand for some reason. I don't know why. And then, like, I also made, like, fingerless gloves, which I had for a while, but then I lost. I think I left them in my best friend's car. I either let them in her car. No, wait, I gave them to her to hold on to, and she put them in her purse, and I haven't seen them since. And that was like a little over a year ago when that happened, but anyways, I don't care. But back then, I was like all over them gloves, and God. And then like with arm warmers, I used to wear arm warmers religiously back then as well. I still have all my arm warmers and I still like to wear them. I just don't wear them as often. Particularly, I only wear them during the cooler times of the year. Like, during the warmer times, it's just like, it's too fucking hot. And then in the winter, I don't give a shit how I look in the winter. I'm mainly like, am trying to stay warm in the winter, so yeah. Anyways, getting sidetracked again. And then at the beginning of 2012, which I was still 16, I decided that I was going to start coloring my hair. And the first time I colored my hair, it turned out absolute shit. And then I retried it and it was still shit. And then the third time I did it, it was even bigger shit. So much to the point where I had to fix it up. And then from that point on, like, my hair was actually looking pretty decent. Like, coloring wise. Let's see, and back then my hair was actually pretty long. Back then it was actually maybe a little bit short, like a couple inches shorter than my hair is now. I think my hair was like maybe like down to here back then. And then and also back then I had a head full of hair, and so I was just like, it is too fucking hot to have all of this hair. I'm going to get a big chop. But before I get this big chop, I want to see about possibly going back to my natural hair color. I got a color corrector like about like a week or so before like the end of the school year of my junior year. Oh my god, it looked absolutely terrible. It looked terrible. I mean, to some, like, at first it looked okay. It looked pretty cool at first, but then it just went to shit. And then I got the big chop where I went from having my hair like being like, I don't know, maybe like down to here to above my shoulders, and like had like a scene inspired haircut as well. Like I wanted a scene cut, but my hairstylist Tina, she's like, you would wind up losing a lot of hair and I don't think you'd be ready for that. So I'm gonna like cut your hair kind of sort of close to what is seen in this picture. And I'm so glad that's what happened because good lord. And so like I got the big cut and I got like the scene inspired haircut. And at first like I thought like, oh, I can't brush my hair forward. It sucks. I had like some serious staining going on. my hair, and I was like, you know what, I'm sick of this. I'm just gonna bleach this shit out. So I bleached out just like some basic stained hair using 40 volume bleach. I didn't leave it on my hair for that long though. Whenever I would put it on, I think the longest I would leave it in was like 10 or 15 minutes. And with doing this, I wound up bleaching my hair white. And that was the first, and I think that was like the only time that I ever had like pristine white hair. And I'm still upset that I can't achieve white hair to this day. The only times I can achieve white hair is on my side cuts. And it's just like, that grows out within like a short period of time. So it's like, fuck. And I had that bit of like white hair. I had that for about like a few months. I had it for like 2 or 3 months, like, because I would keep up with it. And I got curious one day and I brushed my hair forward, and it was like, oh my god, I could do the same thing. And now it's just like, fuck. Why did you do this? Why did you do this to yourself? Bitch, why? And then I just went on this craze where I was like wanting like a shit ton of piercings. Like, I wanted snake bites, I wanted to have a labret, I wanted to have my lobes pierced, and I wanted gauges, I wanted to have a bridge, 2 other basic lobe piercings along with my gauges. And then, oh my god, it was absolutely terrible. I wanted to wear like eyeliner to school, but I knew like I would get shat on if I did that by so many people, and it was absolutely terrible. It was horrible. And I am so glad that like I never like went too far into like the scene days for me, because it's just like, oh my god, it was horrible. Because my scene phase, like the entirety of my scene phase was maybe like 6 or 7 months, like looking wise. But surprisingly though, like this is like the one good thing that came out of my scene phase. Well, there are a couple of good things that came out of my scene phase. One being good with like coloring my hair and everything that came about it, and 2, I got my first pair of platform shoes back then, and those shoes I still have today, which I'm probably gonna have to replace soon, because like they're getting close to falling apart, which is pretty depressing. I'm looking a hot mess very often at school, and for like the first month, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and like I just go ahead and dye my hair back to black. Not solid black, I still left like that streak of color in my hair, and then I colored it blue using Anna Penning's Rockabilly Blue, which was my first time using Anna Penning. Rockabilly Blue is still by far my favorite blue to have in my hair, which I haven't had in my hair in nearly a year, and it's so depressing. I'm hoping that I can get some money soon. Somehow. I'll probably wind up pouring myself out on Opinion Outpost and just ordering a jar of Rockabilly Blue on Amazon. Who knows? Anyways, getting back on track. I was like having blue hair a lot at the early parts of like my senior year, and then like all of a sudden like almost everybody in my school, like and when I say almost everybody, I mean like only about like 5 people, started like coloring their hair blue, and I'm like, bitch, you trying to copy me? Oh hell no. And so I went home, like I made like a Sally's run like the next day, and like bleached out the blue in my hair, and I had like a blonde patch in my hair for I think several months. I think I had it in there for maybe like 3 or 4 months, and I loved having that blonde patch too. At the end of 2012, when I hit rock bottom, and I think it was like November when I hit rock bottom in 2012, and I was like, holy fucking shit. I have lost my fucking mind. So one thing that I didn't like about Scene Kids back then, even when I was going through this scene phase, is at the time I didn't realize that it was happening and that I was going through a scene phase, but I didn't like the fact that a lot of scene kids like that you see like online and everything were just like really like ignorant shitheads that were like always angry and just like like just really aggressive for no fucking reason. I noticed one day that like I went off on someone on in the YouTube comments for some random ass reason, and then and right before I hit post, I read over it and I was like, oh my god, what have I become? I became a scene kid at that moment, and I was like, and I realized that, and I was just like, oh my god, no, 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 no. And so like that was when I hit rock bottom, and I was like, I gotta clean myself up. And so I literally cut out like that music, like the music that I listened to, like a majority of it. Like I cut out like Blood on the Dance Floor, Asking Alexandria, a whole shitload of other bands that were like very popular within like scene kids and everything. Like I cut them all out because like I noticed that like I was turning into them, and I was like, and being exposed to them in the comment section was turning me into them, and I was like, no, I gotta stop. Like I gotta fix myself up, and so I just cut myself off, and with doing that, I discovered like the gothic subculture. I was still like an alternative kid, and I discovered the gothic subculture, and started expressing myself more closely to it, and pretty much started like reorganizing my life and my wardrobe, and I finally started to look nice. I was looking presentable. I wasn't looking a hot mess anymore. I was a lot happier. I was becoming a lot happier, and I wasn't getting angry over the most dumbest shit ever. And a couple of months later, I had realized like what shit I had like gotten myself into, and I was like, let me see if like if I've really changed, or if it's like if it's secret, or if it's still there somewhere. And so a friend of mine had like recommended me to listen to this band. Can't remember the band, but like it featured Curse Motionless, and at the time I was still pretty into Motionless in White. I'm not really into them now anymore. I decided to give the song a listen to, and the song is pretty good, and I do enjoy the song, and I'll listen to it every so often. I just don't like the clean singer guy in the band, like, because his voice is just like annoying as all shit. I decided to go into the comment section, and one of the very first few comments was like someone had just simply asked, who's Chris Motionless? I've never heard of him before. And there were so many replies to that comment, like, and like I think I only saw maybe like 2 positive ones and maybe like 10, 15, 20 negative ones. But the worst one that I saw on there, and the reason why they were all negative was pretty much like short and sweet. They were scene queens like bitching this girl out for not knowing who Chris Motionless is. And the one that like tipped me off and like tipped me over and like proved to me that the scene kid inside me was dead was this one chick had told this girl to go kill herself because she didn't know who Chris Motionless was. Oh my god, I can't believe I used to be this way. Like, how is this even acceptable? Like, how? How do you have friends being like that? Seriously? Like, how can you be... How? And, it really got to me, and it really bothered me. And time has flown by since then, and really nothing much has changed fashion-wise. Well, actually, a lot of things have changed recently. Because, like, I express myself a little bit more femininely. I also like solid colored items now. I used to be only like printed shirts kind of person. But yeah, and then like my music taste has changed completely. Like back when I booted like all like the scene queen music that I would listen to, like that was when like I discovered how much I loved symphonic metal. So yeah, I'm happier than I've ever been. I like letting go of so much and like getting out of like letting go of like my hatred towards seeing kids, and better yet, like growing out of that scene phase has helped me out so much. Even though I highly regret everything that happened way back then, I wouldn't know half the things that I know now if none of those things happened. That's it. That's the story of my dreaded scene phase and my early endeavors into alternative cultures, and bring you guys up to modern day me. Modern day me, current day me, that's what I meant to say. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Still, fuck you for making me do this video. Oh my god. I don't like going back on like embarrassing memories, but it's like it happened, get over it. There's nothing you could do about it. If you're new here to my channel, don't forget to hit subscribe, and if you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button. All my links are down in the description box below, and until I see you guys in my next video, whenever that may be, goodbye. And now I just need some time to recover. And I need to put on some pants. Who the fuck are you? Ooh, who are you? Ooh, who are you? I've never seen you before. I'm sorry, I'm distracted. There's a hot person outside. Hello there. Oh, bush is blocking them. Okay. And the mailman just came, and I really want to go check the mail, see if I got a package in today. But I don't have pants. They're in the wash.